Hi guys, this was asked for, so I made it. This is Frogger in Unity, and let's get started after the fade. Okay, so I'm going to click on New, and I want a 2D game, and I'm going to change that to new folder, Frogger for Unity. I started building this, and then it went bad, so I stopped building it. So I'm going to start again just now. So this is me setting things up. So I'm going to click on create, and that's going to go and create a 2D game. I'm going to close that over there. So over here I have the dimensions as well of the game. So you can see that it is 224 by 256. So everything that we bring into the game is going to be that dimension. So every unit is going to be uh, is going to be 1 pixel. Just make sure we got all these things in here. Okay. So come on. Just thinking about it. Just need to wait for this to do that. I'll cut this bit out. So I just installed the latest version, and that's interesting. So we'll forget about that just now. All right. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it art. And I have a whole bunch of art, which I'm going to just drag and drop into here. And so that's going to be there. The main camera, I'm going to make sure that it is solid color black so that nothing gets seen. And then the full screen has to be 192. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here. I'm going to drag it into here. And then I'm going to drag it out into here. And then this is going to be our full size image. So all of these are going to be 1 pixel per unit. I'm going to make them all single just now, and I'm going to make sure that the image that is shown fits inside here. So just to make sure that is the case, I'm going to apply that. I'm going to make the solid color purple just now so that we know that it's going to fit inside that area. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a sec. So all of these, I don't want to have any points. Sorry, I don't want any scaling on them. I want them to be sharp edges. Point of filter, clamp, okay, input texture alpha, that's fine. And then click on apply. So I'm going to drag this into the scene. You'll see that we have quite a large image here. And so the game is going to look like that. So what we want to do is we want to change the size of the camera. So I'm going to change the size of the camera. So it's probably going to be fit quite nicely in this aspect ratio. What is that going to be? That is 128. Okay, so that looks about right. I think you'll agree. So that's centered on screen. So everything's going to be nice and centered on screen. That looks good. Okay, I think that's okay. And then we will click on save. What do we save this? Oh, this is just the sample scene. Okay, so that is just our dummy background. So now what we can do is we can bring this back down to black. So when we play the game, there you go, Frogger. Woo, we're done. I'm kidding, of course. We're far from done. We need to flesh this bit out here. Okay, so that's what we're going to do just now. So in our blocks, we're going to say that this is a multiple. Dang it, multiple. And we're going to click on apply. And then we're going to click on the sprite editor. And this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 60. 16 by 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know what that is. Actually, let me figure that out. What is this? 128. So what is 128 divided by 8? 128 divided by 16 even is 8. Okay, so now we go into here, click on slice, and then we automatic by cell count, and it is 16 columns by 8 rows. We click on slice, and then every single one of these happens to be right on the money, which is good. So I want that one there, and I want that one there. Okay. So I'm going to click on apply, and click on OK. So our walkway here, we're going to go to our blocks, and I'm going to drag out a block onto here, and that's going to be our first block, and it's at 0, 0. So if I move that to -8, it's on that walkway, and then I move it to, where do I want to move it to? I actually want to move it further over than it's actually comfortable with, which is -112. And that's right. So we're going to have to do something over here to clip this, and I have a cunning idea, but we'll see if that works, because I'm not entirely sure. So if I do visible inside the mask, none. Visible inside mask. I don't think we have a mask, do we? Mask. Oh, here we go. Mask. Let me remove that just now. Okay, so that is our first block, which is probably not a good idea having it there. So let me just bring that back to 0. So it's 128. -112. So I'm going to say create empty, and then this is going to be our blocks. So this is going to be center walkway, and that's going to be at position 0, 0, 0. And then our block is going to be -112, which puts us there. Okay. And then we can take this one away just now. So we'll just hide that just now, and then we're going to duplicate this and then move it 16 characters, 16 pixels over. If this makes any sense at all. So you see that we're moving this over to about here, which is -26. And then we're going to do the same thing again. So that's going to be -80. And then we're going to do it again. And this is going to be -54. No. 60? No. 64. There you go. And then again. Excuse me. -48. Again. -32. And -16. And 0. And then we're going to do this positive, so this is going to be 16. I'm going to flash forward this bit because obviously this is a bit boring, but you get the picture. 48. 64. 80. 96. 1, 2. Okay, so that means that we've got this all done. Okay, so there's that, and we then have to duplicate this, which is this going to be our, this is going to be a bottom walkway instead. Bottom walkway, and that is going to be down a little bit further down. So bottom walkway is going to be down here ish at -96. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. We need this bluish color in here, which we'll figure out. And then we need our home as well. So our home is basically just a straight up thing here. So this is going to be home frame. And I'm going to order these in the order they appear in the screen. So the home frame is going to be at the top of the hierarchy, and then the center walkway, then the bottom walkway, and then anything else we want to put in there will be in that order, just to keep it like our sanity. So there's going to be like a score level, and that's going to be at the top part here as well, just to make it a little bit easier to see. So right now this is hiding that. So I'm going to make this this sorting order -100 so that we can actually see it. And then the home frame is going to move up the screen to round about here, which is 92, which is probably about right because that would be 16. Yeah, that's probably about right actually. Yep, that looks right. Okay. So you can see that we've got the screen looking pretty good compared to what we had before. Okay, or at least, well, we're copying it almost verbatim. Okay, I'm going to go away and create an image that's going to fit this bit here, which is going to be blue. And I'm also going to I'm going to create two black images down here as well, which we don't need to see on film. Right, so I've created these two new objects here, so I'm going to drag them onto the scene, and I'm going to drag that under here, which is the river, and the river is going to move up to the top here, so I'm going to move that to here, which is 56, 57. Yeah, let's move up to there. It's going to be right off the top anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to move that up to there and then call that river. And I'm going to give that a sort order of -50, so it's behind there. And then the borders, so that's the home frame borders, and I'm going to need to have two of these. So I'm going to create a new empty object at 0, 0, 0. And these are going to be side curtains, because why not? And I'm going to drag one into there and one into there. Oops, one into there even. Okay. And the X value of that is just going to be over here. And the sorting order for this and this is going to be 100 because it's going to be in front of everything. And then this one is going to move over to here. Again, let's bring back the color purple because it's easier to see where we are with these things. Okay, so the black border's there. So if we make that 144, there we go. That's the black curtain there. And then the other black border is going to be -144. Boom. And that's us there. And if we take that off, that's okay, because that's going to be black anyway. And we make this black again. Okay, there we go. There is Frogger. Okay, it's good. So now we need to have triggers in here. So if we go into our scene, we need to have triggers for each time the player enters home. So I'm going to create a couple of empty objects here for, well, one empty object for each each area that I want to, each home. Box Collider 2D, and that of course is created at bang slap in the middle over here. So I want to make this one over to here, and this is going to be where's it going to be? Where's it going to be? Well, width is going to be quite big, and then the Y is going to be quite big as well. Roughly that. Well, actually, roughly 16 by 16, isn't it? Because that's what size the Frogger is. And then let's move that over to -96. That sounds good. And then the Y, -4. Okay, that looks good. All right, so that is goal 1. And I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to move that over to here, which is going to be -48. This is what when you're making something on especially in a game like this on a grid system, making things fit on a grid system makes your calculations so much easier. Like I can see instantly that this should actually be 0 because that's where it fits. And so this is going to be what 48. There you go, hit that one right in the head. And then this one here is going to be 96 or whatever it is. Yeah, 96. 96. So that is all the goals that we have there. So I'm going to change that to goal 2. Goal, what did I do there? 2. Goal 3. So all of these, like we could make a prefab out of these. It's up to you. If you want to make a prefab out of it, make a prefab out of it. As far as the game's concerned, we should probably scale that back down. As far as the game's concerned, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, sorry, as far as the game's concerned, that's not grey. It's black because the way the camera is. So that's those ones there. And then I need to have another one in here for the river. So I need to add component Box Collider 2D. And I'm going to make that one obviously slightly smaller than the river itself. So I'm going to bring that in to about here, and I'm going to make the offset of that down to here. So size is going to be 64. Yeah, I probably don't want it to be that small, 80. Let's make it 78. And then -16, 17. There we go. Okay, so if the player hits the river, then they're going to die. So I want that to be a trigger, and I want all of these to be triggers as well. So I don't want them to stop the frog from moving in there. I don't want them to block. They've got to be a non-blocking thing. And then obviously we need to have collision boxes on the borders as well. So we're going to do that. Add box collider 2D. Did I do that for the river? Box collider 2D. I did. Okay. And then this one here, we're going to make the width slightly smaller. So it's going to be smaller that way, so that if the player goes outside this, like they're not gonna hit the edge of there. So that's 56, and then let's make that one 56 as well. 56. So they don't need to get right to the edge. They've got a little bit of leeway, rather than having to crash out. And then those are both triggers as well. So is trigger is true. And then we need one at the bottom here, which is also going to be, I'm going to create another empty game object, and I'm going to add a box collider 2D. And then the size of that is going to be 224. And we'll make it 16 as well. And we'll bring it down just a little bit there so that they don't go off the screen. This is just a sort of insurance that it doesn't happen, but it should stop people there. So let's make that just a little bit wider, 256, just in case we get something wrong there. We can make it even 300 even, 328. There you go. Just to stop people from coming off there. And then we also need death ones up here. So our these are the sort of welcome mat, and then we have sort of what happens when you hit bad things. So we need to figure that out as well. And I think what we'll do is we will have I think we can do the home frame itself. So we can do home frame, add components. Is there a collider? Box collider, capture collider, composite collider, edge collider, mesh collider, polygon, sphere, terrain, tile map. Yeah, I mean technically it's yeah, I don't think we can get any of that working. Okay, well that's fine then. Let's add another create empty, and then this is going to be depth colliders. And we need one for each one of these areas here. So I'm going to do create empty box collider 2D, and the X for that is going to be over here-ish. It's going to be that-ish wide, so 24 probably. And we can make it 8. And it would be negative 24. That puts it to there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's this square here. And then the Y, we want to sort of hit it round about there. So this one is going to protrude, is going to be further back than this one. So it gives the player a little bit of leeway, and so they don't have to get it like pixel perfect. So they're more likely to hit this one than they are this one. That's this theory. So I'm going to call this one kill. And that is going to be kill 1, 2, 3. Kill 3. I'm going to duplicate that, and then I'm going to go this way. Oh dear. 72. Okay, that's -72, so that is kill 2. And then this one here, I'm going to duplicate that one. That one goes to here, which is 24. And that is kill 4. We need a kill 5. And that's going to be 72. Okay, and then we need 1 for here as well. So I'm going to duplicate that one. 6. And then I'm just going to move that roughly into place. So that's going to be, actually I think that is 120. Okay. And then similarly kill 3. And duplicate that, and that becomes kill 1. 72. A lot of setting up in all of this, and then that one there, kill. I'm just going to call it kill Bill, and that's going to be -120. So that's going to hit that one there. Okay, and so that's all our. That's everything we need to do there. Okay, so next thing is, so our game now is completely set up for kill zones. So I'm just going to make sure those are triggers as well. Yeah, so everything's set up for the sort of base part of the game. So that's a good start. So it's now a couple of days later, and I've got a coffee from Timmy's. Right, let's add the Frogger. Now, the frog is this frame, this frame, this frame, and then he returns to back to 0 again. We're only going to need those 3 frames there. So I'm going to select this one, this one, this one, and I'm going to drag that into the scene, and that's going to create a game object for me, and it's going to create all the animations and things for it. So I'm going to create something in here called animations, new animations, and I'm going to call this Frogger, because that's the frog animation, and that's going to put our frog animation right bang slap there. Now, if I move him down to here, I'm going to give him a box collider 3D, and I'm going to change that to Frogger player, like that. And in the controller, I'm going to change that from that to Frogger to give it a proper name. Frogger player. Okay. And when we play it, it should just constantly animate. Wasn't expecting that. He seems to be behind the scenes. Let's bring him to the front. Sorting order, sort in layer. We'll make that 50 to make sure he's at the front. And I'll run that again. There we go. There's Frogger. So he's constantly moving like that. So that's okay, but what I want to do is, I don't want that to be Frogger player actually, I just want that to be Frogger anim, because that's going to be the animation part of him. I want to create an empty object, and this is going to be Frogger player. Frogger player. and it's going to have the exact same position as this one. So I'm going to click on copy component, and I'm going to click on paste component values. So now that object is there, and I'm going to drag that down to, no, that's the wrong one. I'm going to drag the animation into the player. And I think he starts, what is that at? That's position -8. So this has got to be -16, I guess. -16, no, 16, 8. That's right bang slap in the center of the screen, so it's got to be 16 because he's got to be slightly off center from there, the way that it starts. I think that's right. We'll soon find out what the actual start is. And let's go into our animation here. So I want to go into the animation here. And so this is the sprite animation. You can see that it's played out at 12 frames per second. If we make that 6 frames per second, if I just drag this down into here, we can see this. And I click on samples 6. When we play this, he's a little bit slower. So I think that's good speed. But I do want to create another animation, and I can't remember how to do this. So, is it this one? No, no. How do you do animation again? Frogger. How the heck do you do this again? Yeah, darn it. Oh, there we go. Okay. I think it's because I didn't have that highlighted. Okay. So I want to create another item. So I'm going to choose Frogger. I'm going to create new clip, and this one is going to be still. So we'll call it Frogger still. And Frogger still is just going to be that one sprite. So I'm going to add a property of sprite renderer, sprite, and I am going to keep that one there. So that should just show the first one. There, I'll make that 6. Doesn't really matter because there's not going to be any more keyframes because I'm about to delete those keyframes. I don't think there is any more keyframes. Okay, so it's just going to do the first image there, and then inside, where are we? Frogger. This is the state machine for the Frogger. So when we enter, instead of doing Frogger, we're going to enter into here. So we're going to do make transition to here, and we're going to remove that transition. Why can't I remove that? Set as default layer. There we go. That's the one. Let me undo that. Sorry. Okay. Make default state. Okay. So the Frogger still is in there. And so now when we play, we should see the Frogger as just being static, which is correct. Although he's not. He doesn't seem to be centered on here. Does that look centered? It doesn't look centered to me. Okay. Let's make that 16 and put that back to 0. Yeah, it should be okay. I think it's because it's centered around the larger one, but I think the larger one's 16 by 16 as well. So okay, let's just leave it at that. So yeah, now we need to do our transition, our player transform. So our player transform, we're just going to use the up arrow, or just the up, which is the arrow keys or the joystick. So I'm going to create a controller for that, and that controller is going to change the animation state. Now I want to do, that was the wrong thing I clicked, I want this one here. So I want to be able to go from here to here, and I want to do that. And I don't want any, I think I don't need the has exit time. Transition is fixed exit time. No. This is empty conditions. Parameter does not exist in controller. No. I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, it's been so long since I've done this. You can just delete that, yeah. Okay, so I need to do a transition from here to here. Can I change the mirror? Okay, I'm not going to bother doing that one there. All right, let's do the controller first rather than the player movement controller. Then we'll worry about the animation later on. So I'm going to need another folder here called scripts. And inside scripts, I'm going to create one called Frogger. And double click this, start Visual Studio, take a drink. So this is 6 frames per second, and there's 3 frames. So that means it's going to take half a second. That sounds about right. So I'm going to create a private static read only cooldown equals 0.5. Okay. I don't need that. I don't need that. Var horizontal equals input dot get axis horizontal. Var vert equals input dot get axis vertical. So if vert is greater than 0 or vert, actually let's do math.abs vert is greater than 0. In other words, something moved, then we're going to do transform along the y-axis. Else if, writing JavaScript too much, else if math absolute horizontal is greater than 0 to do transform form along the x-axis. So for the y-axis, I need to have a public game object frog sprite, and the frog sprite I'm going to rotate depending on where we're going. So if we're going up, then we're going to rotate 0 because that's going to be the 0th one. If they're going right, then it's going to be 90 degrees or minus 90 that way, positive 90 that way, and then down the way is going to be 180. So depending on what where the frog is, it's going to change the orientation of the frog. So let's do that one just now. So we go back to the game. Where are we? So game, Frogger player, Frogger admin. So if I change the rotation along the z-axis, I think it would be. Yeah, so if I change that to -90, you see that the frog's facing that way. If I change it to 90, he's facing the other way. If I change it to 180, he's facing upside down. And if I change it that way, he's doing it that way. Okay, so if they're facing left, then we just need to get the sign for it. So I'm going to say frog sprite dot rotation dot transform dot rotation equals vector new vector 3, and it's going to be 0 0, and then it's going to be math sine horizontal times 90. So whatever horizontal is, why is it not linking that? Oh, right, okay, yeah. Damn it. Why can't I do that? Dot set axis angle, nope, set, nope, Euler angles. Yeah, let's try that. Okay. It doesn't like that at all. Okay, transform dot rotate, set position and rotation, rotate, okay, all right, and then we do the same thing on here, but we change that to 180. I mean, kind of, we change it to 180 because it's not really the same as 180, because I guess it will work anyway. I mean, negative 180 is the same as 0, I guess. So I press up, down, left, right, nothing happens. I know why nothing happens, because first of all, we're not playing it, and second of all, I need to add the Frogger script to there, and then I need to specify the Frogger animation. That'll help, and then when I play it, it still won't work, but at least at least we'll have moved on a little bit further. Okay, so I press up and left, right, down, 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 down. Okay. Well, it's doing something. So the problem is it's rotating. I need to set the rotation. And if only I could remember how to do it. Frog sprite dot transform dot set position and rotation. Dot rotation dot transform dot rotation equals quaternion dot from Euler. Oh, it's not deprecated. Okay, there you go, Euler. Let me see if this works. Rotation quaternion dot Euler there. Okay, done it again. Okay. Well, if only I knew what side the sprite was. I think I think that's round the wrong way. That should be negative. And unfortunately, this is not going to work. So I'm just going to need to do if mathf.abs vert is oh, I guess it might be the other way. Hang on a sec, because it's going to be negative, isn't it? So that's going to be negative is nope, wrong way. Nope. Okay. Let's press play here. So we go left, right, left, right, left, right, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Okay, so up, down is not working. So I'm going to have to do if mathf.vert.abs vert is less than 0, else that okay, that's a bit messy, but let me just bring this out of the road here. So what I'm saying here is that if you push up on the y, that's the effectiveness of doing -1. We need to check that, but it's going to reset the rotation. Otherwise, we're gonna face the frog down the screen. So I'm not entirely sure if that's the right way. So we just need to figure that out. I think it might be backwards. Yep, it's backwards. Yep. So that's going to be greater than that. Nope. Gotta keep stopping doing that. Stopping doing that. Gotta keep doing that. Gotta stop doing that. Wow. It's late here, hence the coffee. Okay. Okay. Is that complaining because it's not being used? I bet you. That is not working. Can I do reset? Equals quaternion.identity. Okay, maybe if you just do that, is reset it. That would work. So up, down, No, it still doesn't like down. Let's see if it actually hits it when you press down. So vert is negative. Oh, that's why. Because I am an idiot. And for all of you shouting at me, you're quite right. There you go, that'll fix it. Okay. Like I said, it's late here. It's like 9:30. Left, right, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay. And then we want to move it in a particular direction. So we're then going to say move start coroutine move, and then it's going to be new vector 3, and then it's math f dot sign horizontal times 16 comma 0 comma 0. And we don't have a move, but we'll get one. And then this one here will be instead of 0, it's gonna be the y-axis. And so I'm going to create a method here, private animator move vector 3. So that is target. I think we might need to do minus here. This is where we need to do the minus. That might be wrong. Okay, so we're going to do vector var start equals transform dot position var time equals that while time is less than 1. Var actually it would be transform dot position equals vector 3 dot lerp, and then it's going to be start target time there, time equals time plus time dot delta time divided by cooldown. So it's going to be half a second. And then at the very end, we're going to say transform dot position equals target. So that it's always going to end on that target position. And then we also need to do start the animation. And then in here we do yield return null. And we're also going to have private is cooling down equals false. And I'm going to say if is cooling down return. So we don't want to do anything inside the update if we're cooling down. Now we could do all of this inside a single start coroutine. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to keep it as this. And then inside here, I'm going to say is cooling down equals true and is cooling down equals false. Okay. So now we should have frog. Whoa. Well, that did not work. Time equals time plus delta time divided by cooldown. Time equals time plus that. Lerp that to that. Cooling down is true. It's cooling down. Okay. So right now we're at, whoa, some weird position. What is that? What? Scene. That's at position 32.8, and that's at position 32.8. Uh-oh. That's not good. Is that right? X is 16, 8, 0. Oh dear. What has gone wrong here? Oh, this is no good. Why is that? I mean, it shouldn't make much of a difference, but I mean, Unity doesn't, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but there's something weird going wrong here. Oh, wait, that's why. This one is wrong. That should be at 0. Okay, all right, okay. Panic over. Okay, so we don't want it at 0, we want that at 8, because it's got to be slightly off center so that you can't just go straight up there. And it is at -104, but why is it, where did I put that on there? I put that on there, frog sprite is on there, and okay, that's right, that's the transform rotation, and it's rotating around that. Okay. Transform rotation. Okay. So this should still be 0, 0, 0. So when I do right, I mean, I did right there, and it shot up to 16. Ah, that's why. Okay. Gotcha. Shouldn't be 16, it should be whatever the difference is. So it's going to be the delta. So that is start is going to be there, and then bar end is going to be start plus target. So let's call that delta. And let's call that delta. And then let's call that end. Oops. End schned. Okay, call that end, and we'll call that end. And I really don't need to press F5 inside Visual Studio. Okay, well, down's not working. It's also going really, really slow. So I think we could actually make that 0.25. And we might need to speed up the animation on the frog, but that's okay. So where is our... So like I said, that was probably wrong. Giving it another try. So press up. There we go. Okay. And see, he can't get... Oh dear. When you press up, it doesn't go down. So left and right works okay, and then down doesn't work so much. And I think that's because it is vert. Right, we'll get the animation in here after that, and then we'll call this video a day. Okay, so that's our animation done for Frogger. Sorry, that's our movement done for Frogger. Let's get the animation done. So the animation, I'm going to create a trigger. So let's click on animation, go to project, animations here, and I'm going to create a parameter here. Let's call it a trigger, and then call it move, for lack of a better word. And then we will add a transform from here to here. So here to here, make transform, make transition from here to here, and the list is going to be on move, which is right. And then do I need an exit time? I want that to be as close to there as possible. As an exit time, I think we can get away from that. Fixed duration. Do we need that? No. Transition duration, we'll leave it at 0.25 for now. And then we need another transition back to here. So make transition back to here. And then the transition for that is has exit time. I think that's all we need to do for there. So once it gets to the end of that loop there, speed one, motion, Frogger, solo, cycle offset, mirror, normalized time, speed, okay. I think that's okay. So here we need to have public, this is bad practice, but we'll leave it in here anyway. Animation, animator, public animator, frog animation, and then down here we're going to say frog animation dot trigger move. So we're going to call the move trigger. And here we're just going to drag the same object into here. It's okay. I can live with that. All right, so now we press up. Does his move? Of course, he's does seem to be moving faster than he's actually doing that. So we can speed that up a little bit. We go back to our animation, click on there, and then choose 12, and that'll tighten everything up a bit. So now he'll look like he's moving at the right speed. And he's doing like a double bounce. Yeah, it's better at 6. I think the problem is he's going over. Yeah, it's like he's doing 2. I think that's a problem with the animation more than anything else. So, where's the animation? In here. So, has exit time 0.25. Transition duration 0.25. I'm going to make that 0. Let's see how that plays. I mean, it's okay. Yeah. I mean, I think we can fix it in the next video. But we have animation, we have player movement, and we've got the frog animating, and it didn't take us that long. So I'm gonna call it a day for this video and hand you over to me in 2 seconds. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna call it a night because it's late and yeah, I'm getting a bit tired. So apologies and all that kind of stuff. We'll fix the animation in the next one, but it's looking good so far. I think this will be more of a 3 and done video rather than I think it was a 7 video that I did for the MonoGame. I'll put a link in the notes below for the MonoGame project that is Frogger. But yeah, I'm going to call it for this one. If you liked this video, thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, thumbs down. But please let me know in the comments if you want to see this and more videos. I did a poll recently and I got the feedback about what kind of videos that you guys want to see in this channel. So I'm going to do more of those videos because you guys want to see more of those videos. But yeah, I've always liked Frogger. I've got a bit of a soft spot for him. It's one of the first games I played in the arcade. I mean, you know, Space Invaders, all that kind of stuff. But I kind of liked Frogger because you didn't have any killing and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I will catch you in the next video. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification and all that kind of stuff. That would be great. However, if you really want to help me out, if you want to share this video or any video of mine that you like, I've got quite a few videos up now. Then please feel free to share them on social media like Facebook, Twitter, that kind of thing, because that really does help the channel, as opposed to just subscribe and notify and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.